It's time to kick off the 2025 season as the Giants will be starting off their year against the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field. Kyle Friedland, the lefty ace for the Rockies, won 20 games last year with a sub-3 ERA, gets the start, while Chris Sale, last year's NL Cy Young winner, gets the start for the Giants. Take a look at their lineup 1-9 here on opening day, as well as the opposing Colorado Rockies lineup 1-9. We'll start things off top half of the first inning where Javi Baez starts his season just how it ended last year, hitting home runs. A solo shot puts the Giants on top 1-0 early on. Move things on top of the second now where Joey Bart's at the dish. He draws himself a walk, takes his base, so he's on first with one out. Chris Sale then tries to lay down a bunt, but he pops it up over to the first baseman, and that's going to be 2 down. But then Lorenzo Ordonez comes up, and he smacks the ball at the left center field. That's going to split the outfielders, and Joey Bart, the catcher, is going to score all the way from first base. Ordonez tries to go for 3, but he's going to be gunned down. But the Giants do have a 2-0 lead. We move on to the bottom of the second, and Chris Sale is right back at it, striking at Trevor Story to start the inning. After that, it's Nolan Arenado going down on a back foot slider. And then it would be Socrates Brito taking a look at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball right at the top of the zone. Move things on. Top of the fourth now, Elliot Ramos at the dish. And he hits an absolute moonshot. Will this one stay fair? Ding! Right off the foul pole. And it's now a 3-0 lead for the Giants thanks to Ramos' solo shot. Bottom of the fourth now, Brendan Rodgers. This is the first hit of the game for the Colorado Rockies. Over the head of Ramos in right center. It's a 2-bagger for Rodgers, and then with 1 out brings up David Dahl, and he's going to split the left center field gap. That'll score Rodgers from second base, as him and Rodgers are trading places. It's now a 3-1 ball game. Next batter up was Trevor Story. Full count on him. He would bloop one into right field as Ordonez could not make the shoestring catch. Allows Dahl to move up to third base, so it's runners on the corners with 1 out for Nolan Arenado, who then proceeds to ground into an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play. Nice scoop from LaValle at first base. Move things on top of the fifth now. Lorenzo Ordonez hitting one right down the right field line that'll get into the corner, and Ordonez has himself his second double of the day, so he's in scoring position immediately. Munoz then hits a rocket right at the right fielder Rene Herman, and Ordonez is able to tag up, go to third base, so runner on third with 2 outs brings up Javi Baez, who drives in himself and the runner. A second home run here on opening day for El Mago as he makes that one disappear in those left field seats. A 5-1 lead for the Giants as last year's NL home run king and MVP is right back at it. Ryan Castellani came on for the top of the 6th, and Pan the Man, he's still in the lineup as well. Launches one over the right field fence, a line drive missile of a home run makes it a 6-1 ball game. Bottom of the 6th now, and Brendan Rodgers absolutely crushes this one to the back of the rocks in center field. That is 474 feet off the bat of Brendan Rodgers for his first dinger of the season. Makes it a 6-2 game. Mariano Vasquez came on for the bottom of the 7th. The Rule 5 draft pick from the A's organization, and he would give up a slicer down the left field line here, gets into the corner, Panis Fields gets it into the cutoff man, and that's going to be a double for Ramos. Then brings up Trace Barrera, smacks one at the right field, Ordonez back at the wall, gives it a leap, cannot come down with the catch, so he's on second, and then Ramos only gets up the third, so it's second and third, nobody out for Mariano Campillo, last year's All-Star with the Blue Jays. Now playing with the Rockies, pops one up the shallow center field. Ramos is there to put it away, not deep enough for anybody to tag up, obviously. So second and third, 1 out brings up Rene Herman. A slider thrown by Vasquez actually hurts him on the play, so Keenan Middleton would have to come in mid-AB to face Herman. He would close out that at AB, I should say, by striking him out with a slider, bringing up Brendan Rodgers, who has already done plenty of damage in this game, and he is not done there, as he gets a slider that doesn't slide and absolutely crushes this one. Lands on the concourse out there in left field. A 3-run shot, and it's a 1-run ball game all of a sudden, thanks to who else but Brendan Rodgers, his second home run of the day. and Robert Tyler then came on for the Rockies in the top of the 8th, and he would proceed on the second pitch he throws to give up a monster shot to Joey Gallo. Absolutely pulverized that one, and it's now a 2-run lead for the Giants. And with the heart of the Rockies order up, the Giants brought on Jason Tuchman in the 8th inning, so he's facing Trevor Story to lead off the inning, gets him to go down swinging on a curveball. Next batter up is Nolan Arenado, and he's going to pulverize the ball out to left field as the ball continues to fly here on opening day, and it's back to a 1-run lead. Jason Tuchman would then luckily buckle back down, and he would proceed to strike out the next batter, Socrates Brito, 96 on the gun, up and in. Next batter up, Roberto Ramos, the rookie first baseman, going down on the changeup. He would stay on for the 9th inning and work a 2-inning save as he ends the game by striking out Rene Herman on a slider that catches the outside half, as the Giants do sneak away with the win here over the Rockies on opening day by a score of 7-6. Javi Baez, of course, gets player of the game honors as he went 2 for 4 in the day with 2 home runs and drove in 3 runs himself. Lorenzo Ordonez had a 3-hit day as well, while Brendan Rodgers absolutely lit it up for the Rockies here on opening day. 2 home runs, a double, drove in 4 runs, scored 3 times himself, but it was all not enough as the Giants' 7 runs was enough to squeak it out over the Rockies. As Chris Sale gets the win, Kyle Freeland gets the loss, and Jason Tuchman works the 2-inning save on opening day. And now, as you saw in that game, Mariano Vasquez had to come out with an injury. It turned out not to be anything too serious. It was just a lat muscle strain, but rather than having to go a few days without a relief pitcher available, we decided we were just going to throw him on the 10-day IL, and then he would come back ready, and while he's gone, Ike Odom will be called up from AAA to be in the big league bullpen for now. The Aussie right-handed reliever, he will wear number 86 for the big league club. The Giants now travel back home to take on the 1-8 Baltimore Orioles at Oracle Park, who are going to be sending out their left-hander Ted Norton and his giant beard, and he'll be opposed by the left-hander Colby Allard, who is finally getting an extended shot at being a starter in the big leagues. Take a look at the Giants lineup 1-2-9 on the day, as well as the opposing Baltimore lineup. We'll start things off top half of the second inning where Kyle Schwarber's at the dish, and he starts off the inning by striking out on the 2-seamer that catches the up and in corner, and then he would end the inning by striking out Mike Ford, the New Jersey native, with a curveball. And then we move things on bottom half of the second now. Elliot Ramos sends one at the right center field. It just keeps carrying and carrying and carrying until it lands in those bleachers. A solo shot for Ramos gives the Giants a 1-0 lead. Then it brings up Gavin LaValle. It's not a plane, it's not a mountain, it's LaValle, sending one out to left center field, and that baby is gone. Another solo shot back-to-back for the Giants, and it's now a 2-0 lead as we move things back. Taking a look at Colby Allard on the hill as he would get a ground ball, skips up off the bag, and LaValle shows his cat-like reflexes over at first base as he ends up making the play. And then Yusnel Diaz would hit a 2-out double here as this splits the left center field gap, so he's in second base easily, but then he would not be able to score, as, of course, Allard buckles down and strikes out Schwarber to end the inning looking. Move things on top of the 5th now. It's Johan Camargo going down on strikes as the drop third strike, toss over to first. After that, it's Mike Ford going to pop one up into foul territory. LaValle ranges over to the fence and he puts it away. And then to end the inning, it would be the catcher McMillan going down on a curveball. Top of the 6th now, it's Vielma hitting one into right center field. Ramos cuts it off and holds Vielma to a base knock, though, so he's on first base to lead off the inning. Next batter up is the pitcher Norton, who tries to bunt him over, instead pops it up to LaValle, so 1 down, runner on first. Richie Martin is then able to smack one through the right side of the infield for a base knock, so first and second, and then brings up Janista, who grounds into an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Lead remains 2-0. Bottom of the 6th, Joey Gallo grounds one through the shift at the left center field, so he's on first base to lead off the inning. Miguel Castro, the right-hander, will then come on to replace Ted Norton, and he's facing Elliot Ramos, who sends one out to the same part of the ballpark he did earlier in the game. This one will not get out of here, though. It's just going to hit off the wall and get into that corner, and that's triples alley for a reason. Elliot Ramos, an RBI triple, makes it a 3-0 game. Then a pitch to LaValle gets away from the catcher McMillan. Ramos went right away, but the ball ricocheted right back to McMillan, so he was dead meat at the plate. The lead remains at 3-0. Top half of the 7th, Connor Panis cannot make the diving catch on Yusnel Diaz, so that's a base knock. After that, Kyle Schwarber going down looking on the fastball that catches the up and in corner, and then it would be Camargo grounding into a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning as Allard was cruising all day long. Top of the 6th, he continues cruising, strikes out Mike Ford to start the inning. Next batter up, McMillan softly grounds at the second base. Nice play by Munoz. And then for the 3rd out of the inning, it would be Vielma striking out on the up and in fastball. 100 pitches through 8, he would get a chance at the complete game shutout. In the top of the 9th, it starts off rather well, strikes out Fiorentino, came on in a double switch. Then Richie Martin grounds out to his own position, so that's 2 quick outs for Allard, but then he would give up a hit over the leaping glove of Joey Gallo at 3rd base, so that's a base knock for Janista. Then brings up Yusnel Diaz, who already has 2 hits on the day, and he would get a 3rd one here through the right side. So with the tying run in Kyle Schwarber coming to the plate, the Giants would not mess around as they bring on Jason Tutman to face Schwarber, and he would proceed to work the count full, but Tutman gets him swinging on the fastball as the shutout is intact. Unfortunately, Allard cannot get the complete game. He goes 8 2/3, but he does throw a spectacular game in this Giants 3-0 win over the Orioles in some interleague action. Like I said, Colby Allard, 8 2/3, only gave up 6 hits, struck out 10 batters, no runs, and no walks. Elliot Ramos was 2 for 4 on the day with a home run and an RBI triple. Gavin LaValle's only hit was a home run where he went back-to-back with Ramos, and then Joey Gallo had a 2-hit day as well in this 3-0 win for the San Francisco Giants. We are now about halfway through the month of April, and we currently have a half-game lead on the San Diego Padres for the NL West lead. And if we take a look at the league leaders, Elliot Ramos is off to get another scorching start to the season. He seems to do this every year. He gets off to an incredible start for the first, 2 months of the year, and then he ends the season well as well. It's just he doesn't have a 1.2 something OPS the entire season, where right now he leads the National League in home runs with 9 already. He has an .816 slugging percentage, which of course is the highest in the National League, and then he is sandwiched between a bunch of Phillies hitters in the OPS leaders with a 1.245 OPS. It's also worth mentioning that Sherwood Mooney isn't really hitting well right now, but he does lead the National League in stolen bases for the Miami Marlins, while Jay Groom and Colby Allard, 2 of our left-handers, are 1 and 2 in the ERA leaders in the National League. The Giants now travel out to the city of brotherly love to take on the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizen Bank Ballpark. They're going to be sending out our former starter in Derek Rodriguez, making his 5th start of his campaign so far. And then he'll be opposed by Jay Groom, who is from Barnegat, New Jersey, which isn't too far away from Philly. So take a look at the Giants lineup 1-9 on the day, as well as the opposing Philadelphia Phillies lineup. We'll start things off top half of the first inning, where Lorenzo Ordonez tries to start this game off with a bang, sends one out to deep right field, but Bryce Harper is going to be there at the wall to put it away for out number 1. But then later in the inning, Javi Baez with a first inning home run, just like he did against the Rockies. This one out to left center field. That baby is gone. A solo shot makes it a 1-0 lead for the Giants. Move things on top of the second now, as Elliot Ramos hits one out into center field. Naquin cannot make the diving catch, so that's a single for Ramos. Next batter up is Jairo Munoz, hits one out to left center field. A diving catch by Odubel Herrera robs him of an extra base hit, and then nothing else would be going on in the inning as we take another look at that Herrera diving catch. Move things on bottom of the third now. Anthony Rendon is going out to right center field. Ordonez back. over his glove in right center, and that's going to be an easy double for Rendon. A 2-out hit from him. Next batter up is Bryce Harper. He's going to pull one down the right field line, and that's going to get into the corner as Rendon scores easily, and it's an RBI double as he trades places with Rendon, ties the game up at 1. Yarlin Garcia came on as we move things on all the way to the 7th as the starters did their job in this one, and this game will be decided by the bullpen. Yarlin Garcia would give up a 1-out hit down the left field line by Jose Briseño, but Peterson gets to it so quick, he holds Briseño to a single. Kevin Maitan then came on to pinch hit, and he would draw himself a walk as Garcia could not find the strike zone, so first and second, one down for Joey Wendell, who flares out to the second baseman Munoz for the 2nd out, and then Anthony Rendon would ground out to Munoz for the 3rd out. So the game remains 1-1. Top of the 8th, the Phillies brought on the longtime left-hander Andrew Miller, with his 9 ERA on the season so far, and he would be facing Derek Kloboff, who came on to pinch hit, and he proceeds to send one out to left center field. Ranging back is Herrera. He's got no chance, and that ball is gone. Derek Kloboff, a pinch hit home run to give the Giants the lead, a 2-1 lead. Tanner Scott then came on for the bottom of the 8th inning, and he would proceed to face Bryce Harper to lead off the inning, and he doesn't even give him a bad pitch. A slider down and away, out of the zone, that he proceeds to reach out and smack into the left field seats to tie the game at 2. But then Tanner Scott would proceed to be Tanner Scott to the rest of the inning as he strikes out Cody Bellinger. Next batter up is Frankie Lindor going down on the back foot slider. And then after that, it would be Tyler Naquin going down on the slider as well. So 3 strikeouts in the inning, but he does give up the game-tying home run to Bryce Harper. Jason Tuchman came on for the bottom of the 9th, and the first batter he's facing, Odubel Herrera, gets a pitch he likes and sends this one out of here. A walk-off home run for Odubel Herrera as the Philadelphia Phillies win this one over the San Francisco Giants in walk-off fashion. A whole bunch of solo shots were hit in this game, but the Phillies do come out on top by a score of 3-2 as they defend their home field. Bryce Harper does get player of the game honors as he went 2 for 4 in the day with a solo shot and an RBI double. Odubel Herrera obviously walked it off and had that diving catch early in the game, while Rendon hit a double as well and then was driven in by Harper earlier in the game. Derek Kloboff had a solo shot. Javi Baez had a solo shot in this 3-2 win for the Philadelphia Phillies. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the San Francisco Giants franchise. I have been your host, Jerseyborn, and I am saying, Nate Diaz.